So if early childcare is unstable or overwhelming, kids develop defensively, hyperindependence, remain fragile, anxious attachment, or dissociate from feeling. Jung believed a strong but flexible ego is necessary for later individuation. How many kids are like this right now? That's mental illness. The shadow begins early. When caregivers reject certain behaviors or emotions, the child learns this part of me is not acceptable. Those rejected parts don't disappear, they become shadow, the unconscious, the lie. Like, if I apologize, my loved ones will leave me. Anger is forbidden equals repressed anger. When we repress ourselves, when we're controlling our emotions, then we project what we are. The universe is a mirror. Then we become controlling adults. I was super controlling. How many women are super controlling right now? Neediness is shamed equals compulsive self-sufficiency. Isolate, I got me. I have compulsive self-sufficiency for sure. I'm definitely healing out of that. Sensitivity is mocked equals emotional numbing. I mean, I was told I'm too sensitive my whole life. I'm a Cancer, and my North Node is Pisces. So from an astrological perspective, I couldn't be more psychically attuned, meaning perceptive. Another word for perceptive is sensitive. But I'm perceptive, so I see all the patterns, so I can understand the problems and explain these challenges. So early caregivers also shape a child's inner image of the opposite sex. For a boy, his experience of caregiving women contributes to his anima formation. For a girl, her experience of caregiving men attributes to her animus formation. These are Carl Jung's terms. Anima is the feminine inside the man. Like if you look at the Tao Te Ching symbol, the yin has dark, right? And then 10% white. The white, the male, the dark is the feminine. So, a healthy person has about 90% of their primary, like I'm 90% feminine, about 10% masculine. These early relational patterns become templates for attraction, projection, romantic dynamics, and authority issues. I mean, why did I attract Andrew Tate into my life? And then after him were two fire academy instructors, all leading me back to my guy from my childhood, JC, who's former FBI, currently head of security at GoDaddy. GoDaddy sounds a little sexual, doesn't it? Yeah, just saying, Andrew Tate. Just say a couple things there. I with my anxious attachment style and repression of my sexuality, my opposite is an avoidant attachment style, sexually overexpressed. That was my opposite. I've healed from that, but that was my opposite, and I had to accept that. And so that's why those men were able to show me myself. Containment and symbolic capacity. Jung believed that the psyche needs containment, a safe psychological vessel. If I have fear, guilt, and shame in my psychological vessel, not very safe, right? When caregivers can hold big emotions, name feelings, allow symbolic play, and support imagination, the child develops symbolic capacity. Dream richly, process emotion through creativity. That's all right brain, right? Creative and emotions are right brain. Reflect on inner life, that's self-reflection. All that, how to relate to self is the early work with the mother. Mothers do inside work. So trauma and archetypal activation. So if early childcare is severely deficient or traumatic, archetypal forces may activate prematurely. The devouring mother, the abandoning father, the orphan, the warrior, the savior complex, all these I can do it all. Self-sufficiency, right? I'm going to heal everybody, Like I remember after I got married to an Israeli man, I was going to get a master's degree in East Asian religious studies, which I have. But I'm like, I'm going to get a PhD and go back to China and Japan and have kids. Oh, how is my Israeli husband going to go to college too while I'm off doing all of that? Doesn't sound like a healthy plan, does it? Lack of self-awareness. Lack of what I needed, that I need to be home with my kids. I didn't know I needed that. And I saw that after I had kids. Every time I went back to work, my femininity would turn off, my masculinity would turn on, and it was clear as day. So healthy childcare supports secure ego development. And when you have 4 children for one caregiver, the children are attaching to the other kids because the caregiver can't give them that much, can't mirror their emotions back to them constantly. So what we're finding is that kids that go to daycare don't mature because they attach to the other kids and none of them are maturing. Look at all the problems we're having in school right now. So healthy childcare supports a flexible identity, tolerable shadow, integrated emotional life, learn how to surf the waves of life, trust in relationships because they trust themselves. They've been taught how to trust themselves, to trust that they can regulate their emotions for successful relationship interaction. I was never taught that. This creates a psyche capable of later confronting the unconscious, the shadow, the archetypal depths without collapsing.